between today's round and yesterday? I mean, it seems like statistically about the same.
I hit a few more fairways, or at least if I did miss fairways, I was just missing them. Yeah, I got off to a poor start, and then once I got it going there on the back nine, and you just kept hitting good iron shots pretty close, and converting a few of them, and then I finished with a flourish. I birdied those last 3 holes and played those really well. So, but yeah, once you get the ball in play here, I think it's the pins. I thought the pins today were pretty tricky because all of them were, even if you hit the ball close, hit a few wedge shots to like 4 or 5 feet, and you still had big breaking putts, or if you're on the wrong side of the hole, it's it's still tricky. But to be 2 over through 4 and play the last 14 and 6 under was a really good effort to at least just keep myself in the tournament.
Would this thing be a lot more fun if it was like the Bob Hope Classic or like last week? In other words, if guys were reasonably capable of shooting 63, 64 every day, would it be more fun, do you think?
No, I think harder because, if it is easier, it means the leaders just have as good a chance going out and shooting 6 or 7 or 8 under par. Where I feel here, it's like you shoot 4 under around here and you're going to move up. And I think it's good to have a challenge. I mean, Harry and I were saying at the start of this week, it's nice to finally come to a golf course where you have to think. The last couple of weeks you didn't really have to think much about what you were doing, and this week is got to play the angles, got to play a little smarter, and that makes a difference.
Any work with Brad this week? I noticed he was here.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, he just watches me hit some putts, and I think because there is so many of these big breaking putts, just been trying to visualize like entry points, and he'll put a penny 2/3 of the way down the putt, a big breaking putt, and I'm having to visualize the ball going in above it, and then if I want to hit it firmer, visualize the ball going in below it. So just sort of really playing around with the speed, and then trying to match those speeds up to lines, and so just doing a bunch of that, sort of more playful skill stuff instead of any technical things.
And I think we asked you this earlier in the week. If so, I apologize. But do you have any thoughts on Player of the Year? It seems like it's pretty packed.
Yeah, it's pretty packed, but I mean, you just got to go by the I think the wins and the importance of the wins, I guess, is probably the big thing. So saying that, I won it in 2019 when Brooks won 2 majors, so a little different. But yeah, there's maybe 3 guys that have got a real shot at winning Player of the Year, and I mean, I think I know who I'd vote for. I mean, it's probably going to come down to this last week to see how it all pans out, but I think I have a pretty good idea of who I would vote for.
Is John's one victory more than the sum of the parts that we consider?
I mean, yeah. He was probably going to go on and win the Memorial. He's just an... What's that? Yeah, I mean, he was going to go and win it, right? Yeah, I mean, it's, and he's so consistent as well. He's at like 14 top 10s, and I mean, he's just been, basically any time he's teed it up, he's been there. So, I said it earlier in the week, he's the best player in the world, and, he's shown that for basically all year.
I'm curious, where in the year you won, can you reflect at all and think that players gave credit to your Players' Championship as a major? Could it be looked upon as
I think players, as in us, I think we regard it a little higher than maybe the public do, because it has that feel. I think it's got bigger and better every year. I think it gets a tough time, especially on like golf Twitter, because it's, people think they try too hard to make it. It is what it is. It's the Players' Championship. It's not part of the 4 majors, but it's a very big golf tournament.
The auto qualifiers for the U.S. team, they had dinner with Captain Stricker, and they said...
I called in. I was eating in the same vicinity, so I called in and said hello.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
They said they talked a little bit about, he wanted their input on who might fit. Have the guys who are sort of
definitely in there for the European team. Have you guys been in contact with Patrick about similarly who might be a good fit?
Yeah, I think so, and I think there's quite a bit of continuity on our team, so I think you're going to have pairings that aren't really a surprise to most people. There's going to be a couple of rookies on the team that we're going to have to see who they pair well with, and that'll be up to maybe different personalities, maybe looking into the stats to see whose game matches up with who. But we've got some tried and tested formulas that have worked in the past, and I don't think there's any reason to deviate from them too much.
Has Padraig contacted you the way Stricker has talked to his guys for advice on captain's picks? Has he consulted you or any of the other players on who do you think would be a good addition? Or
I can't speak on behalf of any of the other players, but I haven't talked to him about it. No, I haven't. I've talked about myself and maybe some of the potential players that I might play with in the team formats, but no, nothing about picks.
Based on all the captains you've played under, is he is Padraig so far more of an involved captain, more of a distance captain? How does he fit in to this point?
Yeah, I'd say a little more of a distance captain than the last, at least from Tom. I mean, I feel like Thomas basically took a year and a half out from his career to really focus on the captaincy, and
McGinley for sure.
Clarkey a little bit too, I think as well. Padraig's still pretty competitive. He's got a PGA Tour card. He plays over here, so I think he, more than the last few captains, has had to try to balance that. I'm going to be a Ryder Cup captain, but I'm still trying to play at a high level and focus on my game a little bit. But I think over the last couple of months, I've definitely felt more of a switch where he's definitely more in Ryder Cup mode than he is playing mode.
Could that work against you? Sorry, Mark. Could that work against you, being competitive because of the demands of a captain?
I don't think so. I mean, the captain doesn't hit any shots, and that's what I always say. I mean, I've played under some pretty average captains. I've played under some really good captains, and we've won both times. So it's not as if it doesn't. It's not like I'm not trying to play down the role of the captain, but I don't think it's as important as everyone thinks it is. The players are the ones on the golf course hitting the shots and holding the putts.